Masaccio, also known as Tommaso di Giovanni, was born in San Giovanni Valnardo on December 21st, 1401. His life with his family already turned upside down when he was only 5 years old. His father had died and his mother had already remarried, but he was taken in by someone unexpected, a local painter by the name of Mario di Cristofano. Masaccio, being the assistant and apprentice of Cristofano, had soon shown him that his dream was to become an artist. In 1422, when he was only around the age of 20, Masaccio traveled to Florence where he joined possibly the most modern artist group in the area. This art group was led by the sculptor-architect Filippo Brunelleschi and the sculptor Donatello. Masaccio gained knowledge of mathematical proportion from Brunelleschi, as well as a better understanding in classical art from Donatello. They had found something special in Masaccio, and it was his ways in depicting critical moments in human relationships by the concept of art and painting. He soon became an influence and inspiration to many other aspiring artists. He was one of the first people to use the concept of linear perspective in his paintings, which he had accomplished with other techniques such as vanishing points. In the year of 1423, he traveled to Rome with a fellow Renaissance artist by the name of Masolino. While there, he freed all Gothic and Byzantine influence from himself. His reason in doing this was to move to a more natural way in painting which used perspective and other techniques for a greater use of realism in his works. He began to create artwork which would soon become famous pieces. This included the San Giovanni triptych, which was created in 1422, the Holy Trinity, which was created in 1425, and the Tribute Money, which was also created in the year 1425. All of these works were either church frescoes or nature altarpieces. Because of his work with art in the 1400s, he became a very inspiring individual to upcoming artists in the modern era. Masaccio had many famous artworks, one being the San Giovanni triptych. This painting was created in 1422 and was located in a museum next to the Casciati Righello Church near Florence. The actual painting was discovered many years later, in the year of 1961. It is said that this painting was hidden due to possible destruction of it from the German army. There were 3 different sections to this painting: a left panel, a central panel, and a right panel. In the central panel of the painting was Madonna, who was holding baby Jesus and was accompanied by 2 angels. On the left panel is Saint Blaise and Saint Bartholomew, and on the right panel are 2 men by the names of Saint Anthony and Saint Juvenal. Left and right panels of the painting express an older way of creating art in the 14th century. Meanwhile, the center is made much more complex to express new ways of art in the 1400s. This was one of Masaccio's first famous artworks. Another famous artwork created by Masaccio was the Holy Trinity. This fresco was created in 1425 and is located in the Dominican Church of Santa Novella in the Italian city of Florence. This work was one of the best examples in creating an illusion of space within a painting. The Trinity is represented by Christ on the cross, God behind Christ, and the Holy Spirit. At the bottom of the cross there are 2 people. These people are Mary and Saint John, and below these 2 people are donors of Masaccio. As seen in many other works, including this one, Masaccio's use of shapes and figures is very similar to other Renaissance artworks and artists like Brunelleschi and his panel for the doors of the Florence Baptistry. In this picture specifically, you can see types of Roman architecture, such as the ceilings and columns, meaning that these artists were interested in Roman ideas and art. At the bottom of the picture is a skeleton which has a message above it. The message translates to "What you are I once was, what I am you will be," meaning that everyone will soon become what is represented by the skeleton. The painting overall has a significant Christian meaning to it, and it is shown in multiple ways throughout the picture. A third famous work by Masaccio was the Tribute Money. This fresco was also created in 1425 and is located in the Brancacci Chapel in Florence. Out of all Masaccio's works, this is seen as his best, as well as a huge part of development in Renaissance art. This work of art represents part of the life of St. Peter and shows a scene from the Gospel of Matthew. The importance of this work is mainly because of its use in perspective, as well as unique shading and lighting. The painting itself is actually telling 3 separate stories. The center is where a tax is required of Jesus by the tax collector. In the picture, it looks as if Jesus is pointing towards the lake, directing the people to a temple in the distance, and showing Peter how he will get the money he needs. On the left of the painting is Peter once again, who is retrieving the tax from the water. You can then see Peter on the right side of the picture, but this time he's handing the coin to the tax collector. The unique ways in which this single painting is telling 3 separate stories is what made it so special and popular. And because this was such a great jump in creativity, this piece was a huge push in the development of art during the Renaissance. Overall, Masaccio was a great influence and an inspiring individual during the Renaissance. He used many new concepts of art throughout all of his paintings, and different techniques that were never really used before. Many people studied and admired his works and frescoes because it encouraged them to accomplish new and different things in their own art. He also formed a new path for Italian painting, which moved artists away from Gothic and Byzantine influences. Instead, he presented this improvement in art as a more natural and humanist type of world, and due to his work with new art and concepts, he became one of the greatest artists during the time of the Renaissance.